Thursday, May 31st, 2018 at 14 hours and 39 minutes. There's a fly. I'm trying to grab it, but it is proven to be elusive, the bastard. Buzzing around, being a nuisance. I want to destroy it. Oh, but how pointless is it to destroy such a being when millions are born every day? It's a fruitless effort to destroy such frivolous creatures. Anyway, so I tried to stream yesterday. I got insanely distracted and could not pay attention to a goddamn thing I was doing. Apologies. Not that there's anyone here to apologize to. But hey, you know, I'd rather apologize to my... You know what? That's what it is. I'm apologizing to myself. Sorry, me. It's okay. Don't do it again. Okay. See, look. That's how you're supposed to... That's how you handle those sorts of things. Most people, you know, they'd rather just... fuck off and stay fucked off and don't ever talk to me again. You know, they'd rather do that. They don't do the forgiving. I myself happen to be the non-forgiving kind of person. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I don't usually believe in second chances. I usually think they're a waste of time. So, yeah. Anyway, so what we have here is the Fairy Lordess. She is a dragon sphinx looking lady, but she is the queen of all fairies, the goddess of all fairies, if you will. I don't necessarily know nor care how you perceive. All I need to do is, let's see, what do I have left to do? The highlights, there's some little things down there. This amulet needs to be darkened a little bit. And other than, you know, maybe I'll do, there's these little patterns on there, I'll do them with pink, with specifically opera. And this needs to be whitened, so I'll be doing that. I just attempted to do that to no effect. And then I can do the background and I can move on to the next piece. I don't know how to, what was it? Vispania. I don't fucking know how to say wonderful in Polish. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's also put on some muzak. Wait. Gotta get the right effect going on here. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that wire hitting into getting plugged in. It's a good effect. Anyway, this is Grohl the Goblin. Return to the dungeon. What a unsurprising name for someone like me. There's this other album that got released on this YouTube channel, the Dungeon Synth Archive, called Watery Tombs or something like that. Let's see if I can see it in the suggestions. It's by Your Pale, or Ur Pale. Water Tombs and Crimson Horizons. Yes. That was a really good release that I heard yesterday. And also, it's from Poland. So I feel obliged to work with that person, as I commented on the video. That's what I said. I was like, I feel obliged to work with you. I'm trying to get in touch with my Polish heritage. You made a really great album and are also from Poland. It's a match made in my imagination. YouTube recently started suggesting to me clips from Iron Giant. So I've reconnected my love for the character Dean. He is a funny bastard. It's art! And that's not bad. Good shit. This jar here was more or less influenced by a jar that's currently under my table. It's got a nice little pattern to it. So we're kind of more or less free balling it. More or less. I mean, I'm kind of already planned it a little bit. But now we're just ignoring those plans almost entirely. So, you know. Rebelling against my already rebelliousness. When you make your own rules, you kind of have to break them. That's a tragedy of a rebel. Are you really rebellious if your nature is to be rebellious? At that point, you're kind of just subservient to your own identity. Just food for thought is all. That actually came to my mind recently when I considered going to church. And the reason for that is because to be rebellious these days, you kind of have to be a Christian conservative. It seems like it's in the norm to be anything but. And while I am not conservative, I do hold some conservative views, but I'm not a conservative. I don't necessarily mind checking in on Christianity, because I know there's plenty there that I could probably draw inspiration from and whatnot. However, I also don't want to appease my father with that shit, kind of trying to rebel against him. However, if I don't, then I'm not rebelling against everyone else. So it's like, who do I want to rebel against more? And then you kind of just caught in this endless cycle of trying to figure out who the fuck you want to be rebellious against. It's not great. There's an eraser in my pocket that I'm trying to get here. I want to erase this line and fix it. There's two erasers in this pocket. I want them both. I want them. Attack! He had one chance, and his chance was to fight back. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Where the fuck is my pencil? I need my pencil. It needs to be in my hand right now. What are you doing? I need my pencil. Not this pencil. One man. One desire. My pencil! He didn't know where his pencil was. Mijito, where's your pencil? You need to make your drawings. Where is your pencil at, Mijito? Listen to me, Karina. I have no idea where my pencil is. And for all I know, I could have left it at the park. He was starting to feel very agitated because he doesn't know where his pencil is. Still, okay, I need to stop with Pablo Francisco. Where the fuck is the pencil? There's only one pencil that I would ever use, and it is currently missing. It needs to be found. If it is not found, then fuck. I sincerely hope I did not actually leave it at the park. Because at that point it's probably lost forever. Let's see. I came back, placed these things down there. Remember, I emptied my pocket here. Of almost all things. I'm gonna give this search like one couple more seconds. Yes, that's an accurate measurement of time. One couple more seconds. Yeah. Because it's gotta be here. It's not the kind of pencil you just fucking leave around, laying around in places that it should not be laying. It's a sacred pencil, you know. It's a pencil I made with my own hands. My own hands. Good. Good words. Okay, I can't find it. So, that's not good. It's going to be eating me up all day. So, let me just go ahead and put a can on that for now. Try to anyway, as I look around to see if it may or may not be in some other pile. It's like you keep looking. Maybe I'll find it now. Maybe I'll find it now. Haven't found it now, but maybe I'll find it now. No. Okay. Okay. So, that's taken care of now. Where the hell did I put the brush I was using? There's the brush. Okay. Is it weird that I'm feeling like that weird dread of loss in my chest right now over a fucking pencil? I think not. I think that's totally appropriate. It's absolutely a-okay because it's a really nice special pencil. Anyway. Oh, fuck. Where are we? See, this is exactly what happened yesterday. I started getting distracted by noises that I did not appreciate hearing. Now I'm getting distracted by emotions that I do not appreciate feeling. Good. So we're just gonna have to try our best to ignore these emotions and persevere with this crystal here that needs to be brightened up. It is now brightened up. Hooray! With this little landscape down here that needs to be painted. And now it is. Little dab of pink in there. Little dabble white. Another dab of pink Elio. Try and remove some of this pink. It's a statement against femininity. It's not. But it could be misconstrued that way, I suppose. If you really, really wanted to try. I am still looking for my pencil. bastard. I don't really remember what I did much of yesterday other than go to the park, so it's either there or it's here, and I don't know where here it would be, so yippee for that. What else am I doing? That needs to be darkened up, so let's go ahead and take care of that. One of the stink bugs that I caught and have left in this little jar to die. Not a jar, it's a... I guess that's a shot glass. And by guess, I mean it is a shot glass. I have an overturned shot glass full of stink bugs that I've been catching, just leaving in there to die. Because I found them to be quite annoying, just flying around, crashing into everything. The bastards. So now I have my own little stink bug dungeon. A dungeon for bugs. Only stink bugs though, because they're the only ones that are easy enough to catch. The only invading anyway. Had a moth come in here the other night. It's very beautiful. Great leopard moth. It lives up to the name. Motherfucker was elegant looking as fuck. I tell you what, son. It kept me up all night, but it was aesthetic as all hell. So it's okay. Speaking of aesthetics, I've been trying to find certain kind of dungeon synth music that... I was talking about this yesterday, but I deleted that stream because of how fucking incompetent I seemed, being so easily distracted by noises that I did not approve of. But I talked briefly on this, the idea of dungeon synth sounding like the old video games and, you know, music theory, mostly, utilizing actual analog synth with all the effects that we have access to, because we have access to a great number of things, right? The issue, however, is that, sorry, I'm just watching the restream and it's saying I'm offline. Never mind, we're good. Anyway, we're all offline. Yes, me and this guy over here are offline. Not just kidding, I know this guy's imaginary. So anyway, we have access to a fuck ton of technology, to a lot of effects and, you know, new synth sounds. I mostly want to keep it raw with the sine, the triangle, the square, or pulse, whatever you want to call it. Dogs are going ballistic upstairs. Beautiful. But I want to keep it traditional, you know, and go back to the time when we had very, very little to stipulate upon at first. You know, jog it back and then jog it forward again with today's knowledge, you know, because it's like we jogged it forward from there already, you know, it's already been jogged forward. We go from those original MIDI soundtracks to, you know, they're still MIDI soundtracks, but they sound like actual live orchestras and guitars and whatever other instruments, you know, they sound like actual songs written with real instruments now. What I'd like to do is jog it back and then jog it forward with today's understandings, using instruments like the synth, you know, like the traditional synth, like the Moog or whatever the fuck else there is out there. I just know Moog. I know Moog off the top of my head, none of the others. I know there's Korg, there's another one. That's one I was trying to think of. I know there's I know a few synths by name, right? But anyway, have all the wonderful effects and the you know how in these old synths you get to just change the wave and whatnot of the sound just by changing the connections of wires and whatnot, making it a lot more organic feeling. You know, you don't have any chance of saving a preset or whatever. So there's that. I like to hear what that sounds like. You know, imagine the Final Fantasy soundtrack for the NES, for instance, played on a Moog or on the Korg. There's you know, some people have that already uploaded onto, or they have the prelude for Final Fantasy uploaded onto YouTube, and it sounds great. If only were the entire soundtrack. But more importantly, what I'd want to hear is music that is approached in the same way, using the same theory, the same sort of concept, the same thinking that it's being applied the same sort of way. The issue, however, is a lot of people's idea of what these sounds are, they kind of suck. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of people who are actually trying to do exactly that, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And I think what the issue they're missing here is that they don't remember that this stuff from back in the day was kind of written like an opera. You know, that's kind of the main thing that you need to remember about this older style of video game music. It was written with old understanding of music. And now it's all written with very modern style, or contemporary, I should say. Modern era is kind of over, but the contemporary style of music and the contemporary understanding of it is kind of what governs a lot of music today, and I don't mind that. I feel like, however, that there's something missing, you know, something that would appeal to me that doesn't appeal to other people these days. I want that. And that's kind of more or less what I'm trying to go for in my own little album that I'm making on Swords and Dragons. There's that distraction again from yesterday. Gee, now I have two. Can't find my pencil, and there's the secondary. Good. Anyway, so I'm trying to, with the Swords and Dragons soundtrack, kind of go back to that original approach to music, more or less. To not to music, but to video game music. It's kind of like an homage to that stuff. I need to fix this up somehow. This isn't supposed to give you the impression that this comes down further than it does. If that makes any sense. Oh. But anyway. So, in my attempt to pay homage to the old music, I'm trying to stick with a more or less old music style or older approach to it. You know, just get my grasp on opera, on ballet, which is kind of like the music that inspired some of these pieces in general. I mentioned last time I did a full stream that I want to write a ballet, and that's still true, I do. And I have the general plot line in mind. I don't it's not really like story-based like the Nutcracker or Swan Lake, so much as it is just aesthetics-based. So it's kind of like taking the philosophy of neoclassical ballet and kind of bridging the gap between it and the Romantic era. So I guess in that sense you could call it neo-romanticism. I don't know if that's actually an appropriate term, but it's the one I'll be using. So, suck it. Primetime television, character says, suck it, everybody's laughing. Kids could be watching, man. I remember when I saw I was at my dad's house for Christmas, 2012, and we were on his television looking for a movie to watch, and I saw Premium Rush on there. I wanted to see it. It was a movie that I was actually interested in watching. And I tried to give him a synopsis of what I understood the movie to be. He's like, nah. So I end up watching that movie on my own time, I think a year later, and it turned to be one of my favorite movies. It made me really like, what's his name? Gordon Levitt? It's like Joseph or James or some shit like that. Gordon Levitt or Levy. I don't fucking know how to pronounce his last name anyway. But it made me like him just that much more, you know? Like, you know, visually like him. Find him to be very attractive. That was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in some time. I might have to watch it again. I'll have to watch it in my head, however, because I am a cheap bastard. And being kind of obscure right now, out of the public eye, has put me in a position where making money off of artwork is pretty much impossible. Pretty much. Bring it over on top and bring it down. Bring it down! Yeah. So, I'm kind of trying to have that traditional approach to the music. That romantic approach to it anyway. I feel like that's kind of what's missing. It's not nearly as romantic as it used to be. Maybe I'm just being a little, I don't know, old bastard. Kids, get your music and your Spotify's shit. You don't know real music with your little gas pumps and your little drug head trap music. More like crap music, right? Am I right? Aha! Nah. I haven't listened to that stuff, but I don't have any issues with it. For one reason. One reason only. Well, sort of one reason. As someone who is interested in the pursuit of artistic excellence, right? I have determined that there are 3 different approaches. The first approach is of, well, it's in pursuit for technical excellence. So that means, you know, we're going to use music as an example for this. So that would be your old jazz musicians, right? You know, trying to do freestyle jazz while still staying in time and tempo and tune and key with one another. Making really beautiful sounding music without having anything written down. I think that would be more akin to the approach of technical excellence. You know, that's your opera, that's your classical era of music, your romantic era of music. That's your Mozart, that's your prog bands. Let's not neglect, you know, the bands of today. There are plenty who do pursue that excellence still today. I'm just using those as they are much more common, or rather, they're much more easier to grasp examples. Then there's the pursuit of accessibility, or better known as popularity. Your excellence is determined by how many people like your music. You know, how many MP3 players is it on? How many computers is it downloaded to? How many clubs are playing your song and people are dancing and singing along? How many people want to listen to it in the shower or in sex or working out or in the car? I think that's kind of I think there's something kind of romantic about that. Not romantic, but, you know, there's something admirable about it. And that is that it's an approach that asks you to try and connect with as many people as possible. I think that's interesting. That intrigues me. But anyway, then there's also, you know, getting back on track here. There's also the pursuit of, I don't want to say authenticity, because, you know, when you try and say authenticity, excellence through authenticity, well, you know, then who's going to determine that, right? You are. That's not really any way to gauge greatness. I mean, I'll do it anyway, but still. You know, I'll admit, that's kind of I feel like there needs to be some validation involved to pursue greatness. I feel like there needs to be something there to say, yeah, this is good. This is good, but what is best in life? The open steppe. Fleet horse, falcons at your wrist, and wind in your hair. Wrong! Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of the women. Yeah, that is good. Anyway, there needs to be that. You need to have someone ask you what is best in life, and that is the only answer you're allowed to give. That's what there needs to be involved in the pursuit of authentic excellence. Now, when I say authentic, usually what I mean is a more of a reproach for aesthetics, which I guess would be personal for you. You know, they are personal for me. The aesthetics that I use, the aesthetics that I'm engaged in, whatnot. I've determined that pursuit can use both of the other two in a sort of sense, you know, in a certain sort of way. right? You know, you could be authentic and be technically bad, but also really popular. You could be technically good and really popular, technically bad and also unpopular. Now, there's all sorts of ways you can look at that equation. I try to have some sense of accessibility to it, because without accessibility, the rest of my work doesn't work. You need to be able to get into it, because without being able to get into it, I feel like that just sets the work back. That's a setback, complete setback. And I don't want that. I don't want that to be a setback. So, let's see if I can't fix my problem here. If I can, that'd be great. The problem with the architecture that makes up the frame for this image. Framing, man. I went to this gallery a while ago to talk about doing an art show there, maybe. And you know, they're like, well, you kind of need to have frames because people like to have work with that is framed. And I agree, I'd love to have frames. The problem is I can't afford frames. And you know, you could probably find some real cheap ones, you know, in mass and bulk, you know. It seems like you have a common size there too, 11 by 15. That's not a common size. It's actually as uncommon as it gets. Size uncommon, and rare size uncommon. This is just size uncommon. Anyway, so is there anything else I can be touching up on right now? In the painting itself? I guess I could touch up on those roses. Or tulips, whatever you want to call these. Get right inside that little swirl. Give them depth. Give them death. I watched a video earlier today about, or rather it was just a short clip. A girl was using a scythe to cut her front lawn. Very effectively, mind you. It's amazing we don't hear more about that. Honestly, I think that might be the cheaper and more efficient alternative. You know, you have a lightweight lawnmower. You know, you don't need to gas it up or anything. You might have to oil it every now and then. You have to sharpen it, but you know, it's not going to break down on you. Unless you get like a really cheap, shitty one, in which case, yeah, get what you pay for. Need to stop getting so much pigment with too much water. Seems to be the one thing I keep doing wrong here. Give these coins some shine. Give these tassels on this pillow some pink yet again, because I feel like I got rid of too much of it. There we go. Has elapsed. And geez, I don't know where my keys are. They're over over there, so I have to actually get up and look at this. 40 minutes. Okay. 40 minutes and 13 seconds. Taking another quick look around just in case I catch onto my pencil once more. Catch sight of it. That'd be great. Love to find the fucker. You never really realize how much you love an object until you lose it. I mean, I knew it was a special, important pencil to me and all, even though having been made by my own hands. But, damn, son. It's tragic, really. I didn't even feel this bad when we lost our first dog. And that's the kind of doesn't feel bad at the loss of a dog. Feels terrible at the loss of a pencil, though. These art supplies, man, they will be the death of me. Emotional turmoil for days. So let's see here. What do we got going on? You know, we could use a little point here to denote another leaf is right back there. There we go. Ah, shit, I probably should finish this pattern in this thing. Yeah. Let me lighten the load of paint a little bit. Put this down here. There we go. Nice little ring there. Some ring pops. Remember those? Remember mystery flavored Airheads? You wanna know what the flavor was? Sugar. You know what reminded me of that? There's this ad going around. Guess the mystery flavor of this drink. It's sugar. It's I guarantee you it's just the flavor of sugar. I don't know why you think this is such a mystery. It's not. It's just sugar. People are going to still try and attempt and figure it out, though. That's the thing. They know it. I know it. It kind of reminds me of a little taste of... No, it's fucking... It's just say it's sugar. You'll be right. You'll always be right. Because that's what it's going to have. It's going to be made of. It's going to contain. You're probably going to taste that. Stupid bastard. Here we go. Trying to touch up this armlet without touching this border too much. I wouldn't mind if I did touch it, but if I can avoid it, I will. bad. Here we go. Might need to darken up her circlet up there. It's too bright. It's killing me. Smalls. Let's just give it a nice little couple dabs of gray and it's going to be all wonky looking. Perfect. Anyway, I think I might wrap this up early just so that way I can continue my rampage of the search for most important art supply. My pencil. It's not the most, it's one of the top most important. I don't know if it's the most important. I don't want to offend my brushes or anything. I don't want the spirits of my brushes to stop wanting to hang around me anymore. Please, brushes, I need you. If you could just bear to hang around a little more. No, I fucked that bead up real bad, didn't I? One, two, three, four, five, six. Perfect. Six strands of bead within her hair. And I suppose, no, it's not dry yet. I was going to be like, I can do the hearts. I can do a heart. One. Very carefully. Because this is some really fluid pink right now. I mixed in a little too much water. Whoops. Anyway, so that'll be all for today. I'm going to go and continue and feel anxious about the loss of an inanimate object and hopefully find it so I can stop feeling anxious about it. And I shall continue this endeavor another day. Or I shall continue the endeavor of doing it on stream another day. Why is this rubber band on my hand? I never noticed that. Anyway, I am going now. Gotta dismantle everything. Leave no stone unturned for the search of the most wonderful pencil in the world. Mine. Goodbye.